in this particular game, I thought we came out the first half with a lot of energy defending, getting some deflections, steals, creating some early baskets for us. I think they scored 24 points the first half, something like that. And so I thought we were playing elite defense at the time. Our offense was a little spotty. Second half, we've had a tendency to kind of let up a little bit. I think they scored 50-some points in the second half after not being able to score very much in the first half. And that just says a lot about the growth that we got to continue to keep making, so we can be more consistent and be just as effective for the whole full 40 minutes. Obviously, we had some moments where I thought that we were really on point, offensively and defensively. But that's who we are right now. I'm pleased that we're able to get more people in the game. That's really finding ways to contribute. Obviously, we might be a little shorthanded now with AJ and possibly Chandler both being injured, going on a two-game road trip. I don't know the status of them. I know we won't have AJ, and Chandler has a groin pull, and everybody responds differently. So I can't tell you how long it's going to be for him to get back. But it's been my experience with groins, taking a little while for them to get ready. So now we have to reinvent ourselves again, and reinvent our rotation. And like for instance tonight, JT played 9 straight minutes. Well, hasn't been a chance of doing that. So that affects you. So it's going to be important for us to find ways to make adjustments. And injuries is obviously part of the game, and you got to figure out how to adjust. But overall, I feel like the Clemson game got our attention, and I think it has probably been the reason why right now we seem to be playing a little better with a little more energy and a little more focus. Any questions?
Yeah, you mentioned Justin Thomas maybe needing to step up in the absences of some of the other guys, and in the first half, I think he had 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 0 points. But could he have been the MVP of the first half despite not scoring points?
No question about it, and I think it's a great observation. But here again, we've had a pretty good rotation that we were developing and feeling more comfortable with, but that's changed. And so now it's very difficult for guys to play 7-8 minutes in a row without getting a break. What we're doing, picking up 94 feet, moving the ball, trying to get deflections and kills and all what we're doing. So it's a little challenging, but we'll find a way to make the necessary adjustments, and hopefully we'll continue to keep reinventing ourselves, because now we become a different team with 2 players out of your rotation.
How impressed were you by Georgia Tech to keep fighting back late, even though they only had limited depth?
That says a lot about the relationship they have with each other. It says a lot about the ability for the coach to keep them motivated. We went through a stretch where we had unbelievable injuries, just like what he's having, and believe me, it is hard. It's hard to know that you're shorthanded guys. It's hard to play with 6 players in the ACC. You got to try to play hard, try to defend, and then stay out of foul trouble. And that's hard to do. So you're not quite as aggressive. That allows you to be aggressive to try to be more effective. So now you play a little cautious, where you're not trying to foul, and for them to they kept coming back. It says a lot about them. Now we knew they had 4 guys on the team that shot 40% from 3. My goodness, that's dangerous. And their system, where they get into the lane and they spray the ball over places for guys. And so, when we were a little better defensively, I thought that we held them in check. But we had our moments where you try to stop the drive and they kick it, and they had several uncontested threes, and I would venture to say they made us pay on most of them.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, you've talked the last month about digging yourself out of that early conference hole you put yourself in. You finally dug yourself out. You're on the right side of that 500 line. Is the mindset going to change at all, or
Well, let's be realistic. How many games have we won in the conference?
4.
4.
So we're 4-3. You're not going to the NCAA tournament with 4 wins. We got a long ways to go, and we got to keep working. You know, I was telling the guys the other night, we were very happy when we beat Pittsburgh. Yeah, we played so well in the first half, we just blew them out in about 5 at halftime. And if I remember correctly, with 5 minutes to go in the game, it was a 5 or 6 point game there. I mean, so realistically, we're still growing and improving. I think we're moving in the right direction, but we don't even have the luxury of thinking that we've arrived.
How much thought have you already put into this trip, and how hard it is to? Teams are having a tough time making this cross country trip.
Well, you know, those of you who know me, we got to make it. We got to do it. I can complain. I can point out how tough it's going to be. I can, we go in commercial. Where we charge all the time. I can complain about a lot of stuff, but at the end of the game, we got to go play those games. The most important is we got to go win them. We want to go and come back with 2 victories, and you got to take one at a time. So, however tough it is, everyone else has to go out there too. So, where I figured that let's just go on with it. Let's see if we make the best of it, as opposed to thinking about the challenges. I want to think about spending that much time together will allow us to bond more, get better, even acquainted with each other, and help us grow as a team in our brotherhood.
Have you reached out to any? I know you have tons of NBA contacts and stuff, and those cross country trips kind of happen more in the NBA. Is there secrets from like adjusting to the time zone or something like that?
I think some of that's important. That's why I don't particularly like going to Hawaii to play in those tournaments. You go over there, the jet lag sometimes will affect you, but we leave it on Monday, we play on Wednesday, we play on Saturday. I'm not even want to think about anything that could be challenging. We just want to figure out when we get to that game that we have. I'm ahead by half a point each game. I'll be a happy camper. So I'm not overly concerned about it. I've been doing this a long time. We will adjust and practice at the right time and try to get our kids rest and hydrated and stretched. So we'll do everything we can. But at the end of the day, when they throw that ball up, we got to be ready to play.
Coach, how important is it to have a different star every game here? Sometimes you got Jameer, sometimes you got Malik. It was Daquan a couple weeks ago. Tonight it's Taylor. You spread it throughout the lineup.
Well, our coaching staff we've been through this before. We went to the Big East. My first year there, we were independent with no conference affiliation. The next year we was in the Big East. So now I'm going against Calhoun, Hall of Famer, Boeheim, John Thompson, Calissimo, Massimino, Conosecca, icons in the business, and they, within where they are located, within 75 miles, they got all the players, highest concentrated of basketball players in the country, probably the world. So I'm at Miami. So it's impossible for me to have sometimes the same level of talent that they were going to have. And so we had to develop a system that allowed us to win by committee. We had to have guys that bought in. We thought we wanted long athletes that could do things differently than what everyone else was doing. And so we try to win games by committee so that we have good players that play well together, and that helps you overcome maybe sometimes lack of talent, not as much talent. And so of our better teams that we've had here at Florida State, we had 9 different guys lead us in scoring during the course of the year. And if you look back at it, we've had 3 guys drafted in the first round that never started. Fiondu, Kabengele, and Pat Williams, and Scotty didn't start 18 games. And so I've had guys saying, I don't want to start, I want to be the 6th man, But my point to you, we've had to develop some kind of system to compete at the highest level. We basically had to do the same thing here at Florida State. And a lot of people don't believe in our philosophy. They want to play 7 guys and you know, keep their rotation going. That doesn't really work with our philosophy. So I'm glad to see us having different guys step up. Because if you're preparing for us, that means it's more difficult for you to say, I'm gonna go stop Jameer, I'm gonna stop Malik. I think we can win the game. I need them thinking that Chandler's gonna get some, Taylor's gonna get some. You can't, you know, JT's coming off the bench doing his deal. Jerry is being aggressive, knocking down his. That's the way we want to play.